warmest winter boots in the world. Hey everybody, Merry Christmas. I'm going to show you my Christmas present this year, and I'm pretty excited about it. And they are Steger Mukluks. Mukluks. It's hard to say. I saw these boots for the first time, or something close or similar to them, on a fellow's video. Well, you guys probably heard of him, Shugmary, up in, I think he's in Minnesota. He did that that video where it was 40 below, and as far as I'm concerned, that's the baddest dude out there on any of these videos. I mean, this dude is tough. But anyway, he was wearing Steger Mukluks, and he mentioned it. He didn't go into it too much, but he said, "Man, you guys got to take a look at these." And I thought, okay, well, take a look at them, you know, see what's going on. And I saw there were a video or two about them, you know, not much. And I thought, well, that's interesting. You know, they're supposed to be really warm, down to 20 below zero, even more for some of the offerings. I thought, yeah, but they're expensive, and they were expensive. Like I said, I'm really excited to try them out. First of all, I think the thing that got me the first, when I first saw them, when I pulled up this site and I saw these boots, I was like, oh my gosh, look, they look like Indian, like mountain man boots, you know. But immediately I gravitated towards these here, these what they call tall Quetico, whatever that means. Sounds like an Indian name to me. But they're 18 inches high, and they're made out of moosehide. They have wool insoles and wool liners, wool removable liners, very thick wool. I think it is 9 millimeters thick, which is like around 1/3 of an inch, something like that. They're very thick. So you have the wool liner, which comes up to about here, pretty high in and of itself, and then you have a wool insole that you put into the liner. It seems like they're slippers. It seems like you kick around the house after you take your shower. But that's not what these are made for. These are made for very cold conditions. And my phone is ringing, and whoever keeps trying to call me, I'm going to give them a knuckle sandwich. Back on these boots. They just look cool. I mean, if you can remember Robert Redford in that movie that I can never remember the name of, and I should call Jeremiah Johnson, about one of his adventures. That's like probably the coolest movie of all time, wouldn't you say? I mean, I would. I have a few favorites. That's probably the #1 on the list. He had a pair of boots that looked exactly like this. And I thought, oh my God, they're Jeremiah Johnson boots. So, like I said, I pulled them up on the internet and I looked at them, and then I looked at the price, and I was like, oh, wow, you know, $269. That's a lot of moolah, a lot of moolah. Have I ever spent that much on a pair of anything to do with my feet? No. No, I haven't. It's probably twice as much as I've ever spent. And I kind of put it out of my mind for a while just because of that. I thought, yeah, that's just way, way too much. But I couldn't get it out of my mind, you know. Every time I'd venture to the computer, I'd see that Mukluk thing. I have it bookmarked, of course, and I'd hit that thing and say, man, those things are cool looking. And they are. Now, and of course I ended up getting them. I talked to the wife about them months ago, and she said, well, yeah, you can get them. I'll get them for you for Christmas. And that's how I got them. Because, I don't know, I probably would have felt too guilty to spend that much money on myself. And you family guys, you know how it is. You'd like to have stuff, but hey man, if you can't sleep at night, it's not really worth it. So anyway, she got them for me. I got a good wife, a wonderful wife, really. She understands this this thing inside of me that's kind of uncomfortable with being indoors, and kind of uncomfortable with I don't know. I'm a weird dude. I'm not great with social things, like we got Christmas parties and this and that to go to, and I'm not really, I mean, I can do it. I can do the perfunctory thing, and you know, hi, how you doing? Great. How has your year been? Oh, you fixed this, you did. I can do all that. I'm not real happy with that stuff. Now, if I could take the same person that I was talking to at the party and go out to the woods and talk to him out there about everything, fine. That'll be as social as social can be. Because I love the woods, and I love the outdoors. I can't really explain it. I've been that way since I was a little kid, and I've always been that way. And not much I can do about it, you know. I don't know if it's in my genes, if my forefathers were like that, you know, or whatever. When I looked at them, I thought, okay, well, they might be good for being outdoors, and they might be good for like stomping around in the woods and stuff, but how good would they be for multi-mile trekking with a backpack? And it was a tough question. You know, are you going to spend the money when you know, you're not even sure how they're going to perform in that arena? And I still don't really know, and I have to take them out there and try it. The reason I'm putting this on YouTube now is for you guys to get a look at these while they're brand spanking new, because they really are beautiful. And I imagine I'm gonna tear them up, you know, because I'm not real good with just looking at things. If I can't use it, then it's not much use to me, you know. So I'm gonna get these out, and I'm gonna go in the snow, and you're supposed to use these when they're very cold, or when it's very cold, and that is below freezing, because they're not waterproof, and they're made that way specifically. They do give you some kind of waterproofing silicone. Well, you buy it separately. It's 12, 13 bucks or something, and they tell you to spray it on lightly, because they don't want to lose the air getting out of your boot when you sweat. They want that moisture to be able to dissipate, and that's supposedly one of the things that keeps you really warm in these boots. If they were to waterproof it and all that moisture would be stuck in the boot, your feet would get cold. That's what they say, and I would tend to believe them. The boots are good down to minus 20 Fahrenheit, and you can get, that's for these here, you can get ones that are good to pass that, and they are called the Arctic, I think. Arctic something or other. Let me go back here a little bit. And these Arctic ones are cheaper too, and they're $189. They have Moosehide on the bottom, and they have white canvas up to the top. I very nearly went with those. They're like almost $100 cheaper. But I looked at this white canvas, and I thought, you know, I'll get them filthy. I'll get that canvas so filthy I won't be able to clean it. At least if I get this filthy, it won't look that bad, because it's already brown, right? And I will get them filthy. And there's ways to clean these too, and they have, I think the wife of Will Steger has a video out on how to clean these, and you know, will I ever do it? Yeah, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. That's in the future. I gotta get them dirty first. I'm interested to see how they'll perform on the trail with a 40 or 50 pound pack, and that's what I'm going to do. These are probably not the best boot for that. Probably these Arctic ones would be a little better. They have a little thicker tread. The reason I didn't get them was because I wanted the leather upper all the way. I just thought, well, it's so cool that I'll spend $100 because that's what I want. And hey, that's what I want, that's what I want, that's what I'm going to do, you know, so that's what I did. I have sprayed them with this silicone lightly so it can still breathe, but it can, what does it say here? Double strength silicone, water and stain repellent. Might help a little bit, keep them clean, might keep a little bit of the water out. It's kind of the reverse thing. The more water that it keeps out, the less breathable it's going to be. And the biggest thing why they're so warm is because they're so breathable. You get that sweat away from your feet and keep your feet dry. But I would do like they say. They know what they've been making these boots a long time. They have a very strong business too. They're selling these things like hotcakes. I've never seen them. I've never seen anyone wearing them down here in Ohio. And I'm in northeast Ohio. You know, it gets plenty cold here. And last year we had in the negative teens Fahrenheit was our coldest last year. So, and that's pretty average. We usually go below zero a couple of times a year at least, and maybe several times. Last winter was very cold. Stayed cold for a long time, a month or so. And where I go, when I go out backpacking, generally is to the north and east of here where it's even colder, and up into the mountains where it's colder yet. So I'll be able to give these a good test. I'll be able to find out if they're warm when it's zero, you know. I'll show you the other boots that I got a couple years ago. And these are what I have been wearing in the wintertime, and they're all right. They're North Face, something or other, similar to a duck boot. They made the claim that they're good to -25 Fahrenheit. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that claim means, you know. Does that mean that you're not going to lose a toe? Or I can tell you that when it gets cold, when it gets 15 or maybe a little colder than that, your toes get cold in this. You know, unless you're really moving around all the time, as soon as you sit and you stop, your toes will get cold in these boots here. And when you're out in the cold, and I am a lot, I do most of my backpacking in the winter, and that's when I have the most time to do it, I would like my feet to be warm, and that's another reason I'm giving these Mukluks a try. Now, how durable will they be? Don't know yet. You know, I'm going to have to find that out. It's pricey. You know, if I spend all this money and they tear up in the first couple of trips, I'm not going to be happy. But then again, I think it's worth the shot. And just from everything that I've read and I've seen on the internet, they look like they're going to be really good. And after I do a few outings in these, I'll show them to you out in the woods, and I'll let you know what I think of them. You know, are they worth the money? Are they durable? Keeping my fingers crossed, I think they will be. You don't want to slosh through the cricks in these things, obviously. If you come to a crick, you're going to have to be pretty careful. go over the stones as lightly as you can and get to the other side. Now, I imagine you could step in a creek and you'd be okay for a second. I don't think you want to sit there in the water for a long time with them. I have waterproof boots, and I like them, but they do get cold. When it gets real cold, those boots get cold. I'm going to give these a good try, and I'm going to see what they're like. There's so much room in them, you can just feel, you can wiggle your toes around, and they're loose and yet tight at the same time. Incredibly comfortable. I've been wearing them for the last few weeks around the house to break them in, and around town too, not really a whole lot, but I do want to break them in a little bit and get my feet used to them, so when I get on the trail everything's cool. And wanted to get this video out so you guys could check this out, like I said, before I muck them up, because I'm going to.